Hey guys, Two Marine here with another life advice video today talking about pushing yourself even when you really want to quit and to keep going even if you really want to quit. And I guess the reason for this video is because this is something I think that a lot of people don't run into very often, or they're not like presented with these sorts of things very often in regards to being pushed to the point where you actually do want to quit something. Because a lot of people do things the easy way as much as possible, and I'm guilty of that too. Certainly, if there's an easier way to do something or get out of doing something, I've done it just like everybody else. But I think that we have to start getting away from that kind of mentality, and I think that you guys need to focus on that as well, especially since most of you are just beginning your careers, or you will be beginning your careers here pretty soon, and you really do have to learn to push past when you want to quit, whether that's quitting at a job because you're not understanding the job or something, or it's a physical thing and you're trying to be some sort of physical test or something like that, and you're getting towards the end of it and you're starting to get tired and you just want to quit. And I guess the reason that I really bring this up is because I ran into this the other day and I wanted to quit. Like I was tired. I was doing my physical. It's called the CPAT for the fire stuff, and I was getting towards the end of it, and I actually contemplated, as I'm slugging along through this thing, being tired, I actually contemplated quitting. Because I'm like, man, fuck this. I'm exhausted. My arms are killing me. They're tired. I'm just overall, when you work out and you kind of push yourself really hard and you get to that point where just everything's tired and like it hurts to move, just in general. I was at that point and I wanted to quit. I did. And luckily I didn't, because I now have a couple interviews with various fire departments, so that's a good thing. But I looked deep down and this is what works for me. Everyone is going to have to find kind of, the thing that motivates them, and whatever it is. It could be for your family, it could just be for yourself, it could be for a career that you're going after, it could be for a test that you really want to pass. Whatever it is, and kind of whatever your motivation is, you have to find it. And for this, me toughing it out to beat this test, which the test really honestly isn't that hard, but I'm in a lot better shape than I was 4 years ago, but I'm certainly not in as good a shape as I used to be when I was in the Marine Corps. And I think that does happen, sadly, to most people, but I'm still working on it. Working out and gonna hit the streets tomorrow and go for a good run. But where was I going with that? But my reasoning was twofold for not wanting to fail, possibly even threefold. I guess threefold is probably the better way to look at it, because first and foremost, I did not want to fail my family. They've supported me. My boys cheer me on when I'm working out. Like if I'm on the treadmill down in my garage, and I didn't want to be that dad who quit. I wanted to set that example for my boys that I'm not going to quit no matter how tough something gets. And for me, physically, especially nowadays, is a lot more challenging than mentally. Like I've never really had major problems with tests and stuff, and so I don't really get too nervous or stressed out about tests. With physical stuff these days, I do, because I'm not nearly as in shape as I once was. So that's kind of huge for me. But I didn't want to fail them. I didn't want to fail my wife, who has really supported me and really pushed me to do well and to get it done, because she knows that I want this job. She knows that I want to get into the fire career, and she's really, really pushed me super hard, which I'll always be grateful for. And so the first part of this is I did not want to let them down. The second part is that I really, really, really want to be a firefighter. I do. It's an excellent career for a multitude of reasons, but I feel like it's the job that I should be doing. And so I knew that if I failed this test, I wasn't going to be able to get these interviews, which doesn't mean that I couldn't eventually get a job, as a firefighter if I pass it. My pug is snoring. If I couldn't pass it right now, I could pass it in a year, and get a job then. But why wait a year? Why would I want to wait a year when I could do it now if I just keep going and just keep pushing? And thirdly, I did not want to go back up to that fucking testing area. It is 2.5 to 3 hours north of me for a 10-minute fucking test. 10-minute goddamn test. I drove fucking 3 hours for a 10-minute test just to drive 3 hours back home. And they do have, I shouldn't say they don't. They do have another testing facility, but that one's 8 hours away from me. So, yeah, it's annoying that there's no testing facility down here close to me. It really is. And I don't want to fucking do that shit again. Like, not even because I don't want to do the test again. It's because I don't want to go up and waste an entire day spending 6 hours of my day on the road for a 10-minute test. It's super annoying. And so, for me, those were the things that motivated me. And it's going to be different for everybody. It really is. And there's no saying that you have to have only one reason, that you can have like 10 reasons. You can have as many reasons as you want. I mean, hell, your reason could be just because you want to see if you could do it. Just you want to see if you can pass that physical test or pass that math test that has been, you've been struggling with math or whatever it is. You don't need some sort of crazy ass reason, but I think you do need a reason, and because that'll help push you through the barriers that you're facing, and it'll give you that motivation to keep going. And this not only applies to getting yourself in shape, perhaps for boot camp, if you're struggling with that, but it also applies to in boot camp quite a bit, I think, because, well, you can't necessarily just quit and say, you know what, fuck it, Sergeant, I'm going home. Appreciate it. Peace, I'm leaving. Can't do that. That's not really an option in the Marine Corps, but it will help you a lot when you're struggling with a lot of stuff, because everyone's challenged by different things, and boot camp hits you from so many different directions. They hit you on a stress level, from your DIs screaming in your face and just giving you hell and harassing you like they do. And for a lot of people, that's tough. For me, it didn't stress me out a whole ton. It just didn't. I don't know. But for a lot of people, getting yelled at like that is a first, certainly, and it can be very hard to deal with. I won't lie. I was definitely shocked when it first happened, because you hear about it and you read about it and this and that. But once these dickheads are up in your fucking face, spitting on you and all that, it's uncomfortable, and no one likes it. I mean, you really don't. I don't think there's anyone who enjoys that sort of thing, from some just random dudes screaming and spitting in your face. But so that really hits people pretty hard. Another aspect is being away from home. A lot of people have a hard time being away from home, and they kind of lose sight of why they're there. And they're like, man, I just want to be home with my mom and my brothers and this and that. And that's great, but you can't lose sight of why you're there. And another is the physical side of it, because boot camp is pretty physically demanding. Even if you're in great shape, there are times when you're going to be pushed physically. And the other aspect of it, I think, is the testing that they do on Marine Corps history, on Marine Corps just knowledge in general, on like the medical stuff, and they test you on your ability to just bandage somebody up, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot to it, and so people get challenged in every way, and to be able to pass through all that stuff and kick ass at all of it, you got to have a reason to keep going, and you got to keep pushing even when you really want to quit, because I guarantee it, at some point in boot camp, you're going to think to yourself, yeah, I want to quit. This is stupid. I fucking hate it, whatever, but I want to quit. And people who tell you that they never experienced that, I think are fucking lying to you. I had that moment. Every Marine I've ever known has had that moment. And you go through more difficult stuff after boot camp, certainly in the fleet, but at that point in your life, at that time, from the vast majority of people, boot camp is the most difficult part of their life. For the entire 18 years, or however old you are, that is the most difficult aspect of your life up until then. And so people that tell you otherwise, I think, are fucking lying to you, trying to act all tough and hardcore and whatever. But in the end, and then kind of the whole point of this entire video, is that you have to keep pushing even when you want to quit. And You got to find your reason, figure out why you want to accomplish this, and don't forget that when you're really faced with the very stressful part of whatever it is you're going through. Use that to push you through to the end so that you can be successful, because trust me, it is well worth it when you finally succeed on something that you've been working so hard on. So, yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate you watching. Answer on Facebook, and I will see you guys then. Peace.